Next weekend will be the EGL. You heard me right, EGL Gears Open event in London, England. And Chris Tunn, EGL Esports content manager and host, that's a very long title, Chris, will be talking to us about the upcoming tournament and the UK scene in general.
He brings a wealth of experience with him, so let's welcome Chris to the show.
A wealth of experience, Chris, and a very long title. Much deserved. Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
I don't know if that's my official title, guys. I'll be honest with you.
You know what? I think we just made it.
Now it's there. Now there's no turning back. So
this
actually,
is on.
I'll put in my contract.
It's on the internet, so it must be true. So, question first off: tell the viewers who you are, who might not know who you are, what you do, a little about yourself. Lay it on
your
us.
actual title.
On your actual title.
Well, I suppose my actual title is content manager for EGL, but I mean I'm mostly known in esports, if you like, for being a commentator. I've commentated for probably around 10 years now, so a long time in terms of esports. You know, the industry's still young, but I've worked for EGL for only a few months, but I've known the guys for years, so we're getting a good partnership together, and I'm excited to really start doing things for them, hosting events for them.
So one of the things we wanted to talk to you about is the upcoming EGL Gears Open London event happening next weekend on the 9th and 10th. Talk to us about the event, what viewers can expect this time around.
So basically, we had our event in Sheffield recently, which was a success, but we just want to make things bigger. We want to make things better. You know, coming into Gears of War, we want to grow the European scene because it's massive in America. You've got these huge events. The American teams kick our ass a lot. So we want to stop that happening. You know, all these big events coming in for us is more opportunities for the EU scene to come in and give their account and, you know, get some practice on LAN, play against the best teams. And of course, we've got Fable over here as well, who are a really, really solid team. They finished second at the last big event over in the States. So basically, we're getting teams to see if they can catch up to these guys and show more of a presence for Europe in the international scene. And these local events are really what's great to try and bolster that.
Excellent. Yeah, it's always good to make sure that your teams can play against the best in your region so they can take on the best outside of your region as well. So now, obviously, EGL, one of the UK's community's top choices when it comes to competitive gaming. How has the UK scene changed over the years, especially for a game like Gears of War, which can be, quite frankly, a little unpredictable?
So for Gears of War, I mean, we hosted our first event with them. I think it was a Gears of War 1 in 2011. So I mean, that's a long time ago. And, you know, I think it's adapted. And I think, to be honest, the scene has just grown with esports. You know, esports itself, as you guys know, it's booming. Everything's getting bigger and bigger. And we've just seen an upward trend, I think, for every scene, not even just Gears of War. Everything just seems to be getting bigger and better. It's, you know, things are getting a bit more professional, a bit more serious. There's a lot more money involved now, and when it comes down to crunch, people want to make this their careers, and that's what enables it. That enables that to happen. So, you know, if people can do that, it gets a bit more serious. The events get bigger. There's more money pumped in, and things are just growing. It's just getting bigger and bigger. We can't wait to just see it keep continuing to grow.
So with that growth, what would you say the EGL has in store for us in the future? More events, more tournaments?
Hopefully more events. You know, I mean, we are hosting this Gears of War event, and we want to do more. We want to just keep going. We want this EU scene to keep flourishing, but at the same time, we'd love to host an international event over in the UK, of course. You know, any sort of big event for the scene of Gears of War over in the UK is always going to be beneficial to our scene over here and to the scene itself. It's nice to branch out a little bit. We've seen them go over to Mexico, of course, and they've had great events there. And, you know, the UK crowds are insane as well, so it would be fantastic to have an event over here. I think that's what we're aiming for. We want big international events, and we can definitely host them up with the best here at EGL.
Excellent. Now, I get the pleasure of asking our favorite question of the show, which is, what do you tell skeptical people? You're a guy who's in the public eye. You're a guy that's been around tournaments. You've been around esports for 10 years. What do you tell people when they ask you why you're into esports, and would you suggest it for them?
I think for me, what really stands out is when I was a kid in school. I mean, you know, I sat instead of studying for exams and doing homework, and I was sitting here playing video games like everybody else who's probably in esports right now. And I wasn't really that confident of a kid or anything like that. But then I went into the scene. You meet so many people who are the same as you, and you know, you're just all bothered about playing video games together. And I think that's just one of the big things. It's such an inviting scene. You know, you come into it and everybody gets along fantastic. Well, for the most part, anyway. And you know, everybody is really sort of big open arms all the time. And I think it's such a confidence inspiring industry. You know, there's so many things. I mean, look, I was a kid who was just not really sociable with people when I was a lot younger. And now I'm on stage like with thousands of people, you know, talking to people online all the time, and it's crazy to see that sort of transfer. And I think it can happen to anyone. You know, you come in, there's so many people who are ready in the esports scene to welcome everybody in. You know, we want everybody to be more aware of esports, and anybody extra coming in is always a bonus for us.
Well, so here's a question for you as somebody from the UK who's had the experience you've had. We just had ESL One Birmingham. Gfinity has a presence there with a number of different esports. I'm curious what your take on, I mean, does a rising tide pretty much rise all boats? What is the UK scene like across the board from esports from your perspective, and what can we look forward to perhaps in the future from the UK specifically when it comes to hosting events on your soil?
I think it's a growing industry over here. I wouldn't say it's as big as, you know, in Asia or in America right now, but I think whenever there is an event hosted over here, a big international event, it's always great. Every single time the crowd shows up, the production's up, we've got a solid level of guys who, we haven't been to huge international events as big as some in the American and the Asian scenes, of course, but when we've been doing it over here for just as long, so we have the resources, we have the experience over here. So every single time it comes over here, there's never a disappointment. Things are always fantastic, and I would just love to see more. Of course, we're only a small little island, but at the same time, I think we've got a lot to offer from an esports perspective.
Nice.
All right, well, thanks a bunch, Chris. Last question for you. Where can people find you and your work, and do you have any special shout-outs you want to throw out there?
Just shout out to the Gears of War community who have been behind our events. Shout out to all the team at EGL as well, who are working very hard to get this event started for next weekend. Everyone can find me on Twitter. It's ctunn_. I talk a lot about esports, so you can come to say hi to me anytime. I'll answer anything. I'm an open book.
Excellent. Well, Chris, thank you so much. And looks like we've got your handle right there in the lower third. So thank you once again. And if you're in the UK right now, go to bed. Friend, go to bed. It's pretty late if I recall
I'm staying up.
At 11?
It's ready to play video games time.
Yeah.
That's
it is
right
video
there.
game
Go
time.
scrim. Go have yourself some fun. Thank you so much again.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.